So you want to run a wine half marathon. Great idea. I ran my first wine half marathon last November and I've already signed up for another one. They're so much fun and they take the idea of a party pace to the next level. Here's some logistical things to know before you sign up for your race. First, a lot of wine half marathons are not going to have a great bathroom setup. I ran the Beaujolais half marathon and I've talked to people who've run other ones, and they tend to be very low on porta potties and very reliant on, you're in a vineyard, you can go pee in a vineyard. So make sure you're comfortable with that before you sign up for the race. Second, if you're going to do a wine half marathon in France, you will need to get a medical certificate. Now this is a super easy process. The Beaujolais half marathon actually gives you a printout of the certificate, so it says all the right thing, it's for running in sport, and then you can bring it to your doctor and they will sign it. Or they'll make you do a few tests like mine did and then sign it. 3, you can totally run this race with a group, and a lot of people will. There's nothing wrong with running this completely alone. I ran it completely alone. I had someone I was running with and then she bailed on me, so I ran this race alone and I started a Facebook group exclusively for runners who want to find other people to run with. I made all these friendship bracelets and it was super fun just to give them out and interact with people and meet people that way. Shout out Taylor Swift for the idea. So most of these wine races are going to have between 6 to 10 wine stops during the course. And with only 6 to 10 courses and usually, upwards of 10,000 runners, there are going to be lines to actually get some wine. So I would recommend, I'd factor in about 10 to 30 minutes depending on when you get to the line, how many people are already there, and everything else. For example, when I did the Beaujolais half marathon, I arrived pretty late for the first wine station because I'd been just kind of doing a slow jog, and there were a ton of people waiting. But after that, I had almost no one to wait through, and I got wine super quickly at all the other stops. Wine half marathons are very fun, and they are designed to be fun. They are not designed for speed. So if you're gonna run a wine half marathon, make sure you have a costume. I went for runner's Barbie, which was really track and field Barbie, but whatever, she's a runner. Some notable ones that I saw were the very interactive ones, like the people who were dressed up as different Power Rangers and they were doing full fight scenes while running the race. It was super cool. There were some Mario Kart people who had balloons attached to them and they were trying to pop each other's balloons while running the race. There were some people dressed up as stereotypical French people and they were running with baguettes. I think the saddest thing of the entire race though was I saw them at like mile 1. I saw this group, and at mile 10, I saw the baguettes just kind of tossed to the side of the road. I would have eaten them. If that was my baguette, I would have eaten it. This was the only expo I went to where every single race, whether it was a wine race or not a wine race, was persuading people to sign up with wine tastings. Everyone at the expo was giving out wine tastings or like free cheese or food of some sort. It was just a really fun expo that you don't normally see. Where do you want to stay? Where do you want to fly into? If you're attending the Beaujolais half marathon, I would recommend you fly into Lyon International Airport and you stay in the city of the race. That's the big thing for me. If you're attending a wine race, you don't want to stay in the biggest city nearby. You want to stay in the actual place. You want to be walking distance to the starting line. There's a lot going on that morning. You don't want to have to worry about public transportation to get in. You want to be walking distance to the starting line the morning of your race. When you're running a wine half marathon, at least for Beaujolais, it was a bring your own cup experience, which I really liked because it's an eco-friendly option and there's less to clean up because people are actually, holding on to their cups throughout the entire race. That said, make sure you also have a way to attach your cup to yourself when you're not running. I use just one of the pins on my bib. I just kind of attached it to myself that way, but other people actually had carabiners and other things like that. I absolutely love the Beaujolais half marathon that I ran. It happens in November and it celebrates the start of the Beaujolais wine season. The race takes place the following Saturday after the unveiling of the newest edition of the Beaujolais wine. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions about how to sign up for a wine half marathon and the logistics required for it. And most importantly, if you're running a wine half marathon, make sure you have fun. That's it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh. And just think, if you decide to run one, you can get a medal just like this. You have fashion influencers, but I'm a medal influencer.